Oh, they're here. Nice. Start with Heartfire. Classic rules. You know, play your dude without haste first. And a little bit funny, we can like go mouse mouse, and they might think we're on like mouse tribal, and instead of just like plain old prowess. There's also an option to go like Swiss Spear, hold up Snakeskin, depending on what our opponent does. Not surprised to see a mountain. Lots and lots of aggro these days, playing standard. I don't mind tapping out here. Emberheart might end up getting shocked. But I like the idea of next turn being able to go Swift Spear attack, hold up Snakeskin, and if they don't force us to use Snakeskin, we can Seek the Beast. How's everybody doing tonight? What's the like politically correct way for me to type in chat right now? Can I please have my Emberheart? There are no free spells in Standard. Just gonna give him a little all good. Nice. Don't shock me. Okay, cool. All right. So hopefully we just Seek the Beast on their end step and then untap and kill them. We'll see. If we have to use Snakeskin Veil, it's a little inconvenient, but not the end of the world. Because next turn we can just Seek the Beast. Probably find some gasoline to help us find the kill. Okay. Charming Scoundrel's good. You have a treasure token. Scorching Shot. Or another Scoundrel. Can practice my stand-up comedy routine during these waiting periods. If only I had a stand-up comedy routine. Alrighty. I guess technically I could double queue into Pioneer at the same time, but that seems like asking for trouble. But appreciate you guys hanging out. If anyone has any questions about red decks, Standard, Pioneer, perfect time to ask. You have my full... Oh, heyo, heyo, opponent's back. Let's go. Here we go. We're cooking. Look at that. All the way to end step. We're playing Magic. Okay. We found a land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. We're going to try and win the game. I would like to see the top card of my deck. Witchstalker Frenzy. That's great. That's a prowess trigger. This has got to be lethal, right? Yeah, this is like mega lethal. Haha! I loved the Is It Prowess deck. I think Mockingbird is so cool, but the mana was just backbreakingly inconsistent. Playing a true two-color deck in Standard, a two-color aggro deck in Standard, just wasn't nearly consistent enough. If you'll notice, you know, with Questing Red, the only green in the main deck is Questing Druid and Snakeskin Veil. And honestly, you know, Questing Druid's primary mode is red. We're mostly in it for Seek the Beast, especially game 1 when we're plan A-ing. And then by the time you actually want to cast Questing Druid himself, or even Snakeskin Veil, you're later in the game, you probably have a green source. Or like if you pick up your green source via the tap land, the creature land, it's again not a big deal. Like these are cards you're not trying to rush out the door in the first couple turns. Usually not even turn 3, but sometimes. Whereas with the true two-color decks trying to play either, you know, Paw Patch and Gruul or Mockingbird and the Otter level up thing in Is It, you like want your blue as early as turn 1. and you're a true 2-color deck playing a bunch of pips of both colors, and having all your mana every turn is really hard. Finding, untapped lands. Thran Portal is so rough. It's 1 color, and it enters tapped after your 3rd land. Which in general, wouldn't be that big of a deal if it wasn't 1 color and pinging you for life literally every time you tapped it. But then you put on top of it that, okay, well, this deck is good and cool because I have some flood protection in the form of the otter level up thing, which at 4 mana I can buy something back, right? But now my crappy lands that hardly kind of sort of almost let me cast my spells on top of everything else, they it doesn't come in untapped, so now I'm like a turn behind trying to buy back my Monstrous Rage to actually win the game. It's just brutal. It's just brutal. So I love it. If we get some kind of playable 2-color land for aggro decks, I will be on that in a heartbeat. But for now, I have to be sad and put it down and accept that. Got to be a little bit boring and stick with Questing Red, even though Questing Red's not boring. It's a great, exciting deck. Bro says, here comes Koth. Okay. We're gonna just cast this. Ooh, sorry, buddy. Had the Monstrous Rage. By the way, just putting it out there, giving them a treasure was literally an upside for us in that scenario because we gave them the mana to cast the shock and let themselves get blown out. I knew we kind of sped through those Blooming Blasts and me giving them the treasure both times, but seriously, Blooming Blast is so good. And giving away a treasure in Standard is like, oh, meh. It was genuinely an upside in that scenario. Which is pretty funny. The same is true, you know, against black decks. You give them a treasure and they cast their cut down, and then you're like, haha, Monstrous Rage. I mean, you really can turn the treasure into an actual upside instead of a downside. Now, obviously, our hand here is just like incredibly mid, and we are not in great shape to win this game. Probably should have done that at instant speed. Yeah, this is so mediocre. And I have to ping myself for one to animate this ridge line. I mean, I think I actually hold ridgeline to block, I guess. I was thinking about using Demonic Ruckus to draw a card, but kind of medium. Let's see if they've got the Witchstalker Frenzy. Yeah, they do. Okay. I think we did about all we could do being on the draw and pulling that many lands out of our deck. We were close. The line to blow out the shock was really exciting. That's not playable. This is horrible, but we gotta try it. Well, the Isn't mana was unplayable, but I'm gonna lose to the Gruul mana anyway, so... What are you gonna do? We'll bottom Frenzy. I don't love casting Ruckus here because I'm just milling my top card, but I don't really have another choice. Getting Emberheart out of shock range is pretty relevant. They could just have the Obliterating Bolt and it's kind of was for nothing, but they didn't, so that's nice. Let's try to find a land drop off of Emberheart. Well, we found a shock, so we still get a card. We wanted them to miss that land drop so that they couldn't cast Witchstalker Frenzy. This is a little scary. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm at 4. Just win, right? Yeah. It's just lethal. Another Monstrous Rage. I'll use the shock. Yeah. Well, I can understand why my opponent wanted to just race because I had double pain lands, but just racing on the draw is usually not where you want to be. I'll be right back. I need to let my dog out. Good hand. I'm guessing Bant control based on the graveyard. No. I have not tried Overprotect over Twinferno. Overprotect is really cool and it has a lot of text. But Twinferno can deal 22 damage. Or 11 damage, I guess. So Twinferno's top end is just so high. And it lets us set up the Monstrous Rage double strike kills. Oh, speaking of which, little Emberheart action. Pretty cool there that we can hit our land drop off of Monstrous Rage and then deal a ton of damage. So, no, Overprotect is a cool card, but it definitely doesn't do what Twinferno does. Lynx at 4 mana. I may eventually start playing it, but 4 mana is a lot. We're playing 21. We have Questing Druid, so we can probably typically get there. It'll really just depend how the meta takes shape. Snakeskin Veil is a pretty good draw there. Pretty good draw. Opponent's gonna have to do a lot to not die here. So they can do that, but we still have lethal. And we have an answer to their removal spell, so they needed exactly double removal spell in order to survive this. What's up, Jimmy? Not too much. Got beat up a bit trying to play my somewhat janky Pioneer Gruul deck, but so far so good with the standard deck, so I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Jimmy? I'm gonna take out 2 shocks. And well, maybe I'll just take out all my shocks. Shock seems so weak into domain. Tectonic Hazard is for the deck that makes all the 1/1s. Convoke. Tectonic Hazard is for Convoke. Yeah, let's do this. Let's just take Shock out. I didn't think so. So when I first drafted the deck, I had the same thought. I thought, oh, Convoke's not playable. But then I played Moto for a couple hours and I played against Convoke in like half my matches. And what's really funny is I saw some of the best draws I ever saw. You know, with rotation, technically speaking, their chances of a turn 2 knight is half of what it used to be. But I think I saw more turn 2 knights than I did pre-rotation. It was kind of crazy. So I expected the deck to die. But not only did I see a ton of it, yeah, they're still running Gleeful. I got turn 2 knighted multiple times. It was crazy. So my experience was not only did it not die, these guys like made a deal with the Lords of Variance, and we're doing some crazy stuff. I'm a little worried that I'm playing into Temp Lockdown here, but I also don't really have anything else to do, and it also seems like Domain plays very, very few untapped lands, so maybe we're okay here. Okay, I agree. You're right, Jimmy. We're chilling. If they had it, they'd have slammed it down already. Uh-oh. Yo, don't... Why would they... Whoa. We just got slow played so hard. Yeah. We got slow rolled. Yeah, yeah. Tank, tank, tank. Oh, I've got the nuts. What could you possibly be thinking about there? That's crazy. They tank for a while and then they're just like bolt, bolt, bolt. Oh my gosh. That's wild. Yeah, good times. Well, like I said, I was worried about it, but I really didn't have a way to play around it besides do nothing, which doesn't really count as playing around it. That's just doing nothing. Yeah, dude, you got it. Go get yourself a tapped land. Beseju's not legal in standard anymore, so we don't have Beseju in the deck. Rage the Heartfire, not cast. Yeah, maybe. Then we have a 3/3 Heartfire, and they are kind of compelled to do something about it. But the thing is, without Monstrous Rage, Ember Heart, it's just kind of a 2/2 with haste, you know? So giving up my Monstrous Rage there means Ember Heart's going to be pretty weak, even if they like fire off the early temp lockdown. But it's an option. Yeah, Beseju not being in the format anymore is a real bummer. Great utility land. Given that they fetched a swamp and a mountain, I think the angel is coming. I think they're gonna double kick an angel, and I'll probably concede instead of using the snakeskin veil, right? Oh, they're targeting me. The disrespect. Okay, well, I'm not going to concede then. I was just thinking about hiding the Snakeskin Veil. What did we hit? Okay, the worst possible thing. All right, I'm out. Why hit one of our 6 answers? Or some of our 1 mana buffs, or even Ruckus, which like gets us around the Angel. Why do that when we can hit one of the few pairs of cards where we can't cast them both? Good. Not in this matchup, because, you know, for example, the Forge can't race that Archangel, right? So, right there, that's a game where we didn't win fast. And if we play Forge, we just can't race the Archangel. Domain, we need to be really aggressive. I keep in Questing Druid as, you know, a small source of grind. But the grindy threats ours are not better than theirs. That's a good draw. That is a good draw. We can actually Twin Inferno for 8 next turn. They do not have Leyline Binding mana. They have Get Lost? Get out of here. Come on. They did not. That was super rude. And we found another land. Can I get not a land? No, I cannot. Okay. Okay. Do we? No. I can't Twin Inferno here. That would be crazy. Doing nothing feels incredibly bad too, but... There's a very non-zero chance that we just fire up Restless Ridgeline next turn, which is pretty sad. Bailoff in the Yard is not bad. I mean, we do have the answer, but oh my gosh. Drawing non-lands couldn't be me. Could not be me. Lizard, mouse, otter, raccoon. I keep hoping I read Rockface one of these times and it says Druid on it. Like, do you say druid yet? No? Darn. I'm wondering if pick your poison is even worth it here. I don't think it is. I think we just lava spike them with this Monstrous Rage and they're at 4. And next turn we actually have enough mana to Inferno the Ridgeline, which is pretty funny. Or we can PYP plus attack to, like, if they just drop up Archangel to try and jump block. Yeah. Look at all these lands. Honestly, kind of crazy. This is not the first time I've had this problem, though. And it will not be the last. How about this Restless Ridgeline, though? Just going the distance. And then next turn, I actually have... This is insane. Next turn, I have enough mana to animate Ridgeline and spend 3 mana on Witchstalker Frenzy. Oh my gosh. Stop. This isn't real. We're going to do the math on this. After the match ends. Alright, let's plug it in right now. Hyper geometric. This is crazy. Sample size, we're 17 cards into the deck. There's 21 lands. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 5, 6, 7, 8. Before drawing the Swiss Spear, 4.67% to draw that. Screaming Nemesis. Yeah, Screaming Nemesis is going to be pretty cool. So what? They're going to gain some life? I think we finally win this game. Because we have Twinferno mana still, which is a lot of damage. Yeah. So they're going to gain 3, but we have 6 coming at them. So they still just die. And if they have some kind of trick, we just give double strike to whichever creature. Restless Ridgeline. That is the hardest I have ever seen Restless Ridgeline go. That was... Ridgeline did a lot of damage. What, Heartfire dealt 3? No, 6. Did Heartfire get to turn sideways? I don't know. Maybe I'll... Yeah, Heartfire dealt 6. Because they were gaining life too, that's right. Okay, I gotta let the dog in, but that Ridgeline did, I think, at least 12 damage, if not 15. Especially if you credit it with it buffed Swift Spear, and then it also buffed the 1/1 Questing Druid for an attack. That was wild. I probably should have put myself in the queue before I let the dog in, but... Let's see. Let's go to game history, actually. Nima, thank you so much for following. Appreciate you. Oh, this is the one turn. Okay. Let's just let the tape roll. So, yeah, Heartfire dealt 6. Because I did get to turn it sideways once before the get lost. Hey, Nima. Yeah, questing red is definitely sweet. That's the deck we're playing right now. It's the deck that won the USRC back in June. It is awesome. We didn't lose much from rotation, so the deck still kicks. Here's Ridgeline dealing 5. So our Ridgeline damage count is 5. Now Ridgeline dealing 6. So our Ridgeline damage count is 11. Ridgeline dealing 3. So that's 14 from Ridgeline. Baloth. Ridgeline's going to deal 3 again, so that's 17. And then Ridgeline's going to deal 5. 22 damage from a single Restless Ridgeline. That's just crazy. Never seen that. Alright, let's check on our 2 minutes in the queue. But yeah, I'll put the link in chat real quick, since I don't know if I've done that yet. But as far as standard decks go, it really didn't lose much. Kumano is the biggest loss, and we love Kumano. Kumano's amazing. But Heartfire Hero is pretty cool. I mean, right there we saw, turn 1 Heartfire, turn 2 Ruckus, and Heartfire dealt 6. A lot of damage. Not that Kumano hasn't dealt 6 damage, but I would say it's a stretch that it does 6 damage on average. Not that Heartfire is dealing 6 damage on average. Emberheart is a nice upgrade over Codebreaker. Shock is definitely worse than Play with Fire, but it's not as bad as people think. Let's play. This hand is super mid, but hard to find much better out of a 6. If we find some non-creature spells, we're cooking. If we don't, we're the opposite of cooking. Plains. What is this? When this creature dies, put its counters on target creature you control. You're looking for something aggressive. An ideal hand, you're going to be able to do something on turn 1, either Heartfire Hero, Swift Spear, or Plot Ruckus. If you can't do one of those things, then you're looking for, you probably have Slick Shot in your hand. And even though you don't have much to do on turn 1, or anything to do on turn 1, basically from turn 2 forward, you should be, dumping your hand very aggressively. You want to curve out, you want to deal big damage, and you want to do it fast. Oof, what a great draw. Frenzy as an answer for the Botanical Brawler is really nice. Get that guy out of here. Depending on what we draw, there's a good chance that we Seek the Beast in our main phase 1 next turn. Try to close the game out. Find like Monstrous Rage or Demonic Ruckus. Vigilance, Trample, Haste. When it dies, create treasure tokens equal to its power. Yeah, we're going to do a main phase because if I hit Ruckus, I do want to cast it. Yeah, Two-Headed Hunter potentially ends this game. I guess it depends what they block. Okay. They chose death. They chose to die themselves instead of letting Goldvein die. An honorable decision. Though I probably would recommend choosing differently. There is honor in protecting your snake of many heads. I just want to max out on removal here. And my opponent's deck looks quite aggressive. I think they're trying to dump their hand and make giant dudes. I do want to keep my double strike spells because I win the race on goldfishing. Maybe Snakeskin can come out, actually. I don't anticipate them focusing on interacting with me very much. Yeah. This seems like the right move. So here we're going to plot Ruckus. Ruckus into Emberheart, I'm still kind of... I don't love that. Because I don't like milling a card. It's just completely random. You might mill... Like here I want my third land, right? If I mill my third land, I'm going to be like, no! If I mill a non-land, I'm going to be like, cool, I'm closer to finding my land. But it's just total total randomness. Now I found my third land, so I'm even more kind of like medium on milling a card. I might just run out Emberheart and not use the... Like, I can just attack with Emberheart and not cast Demonic Ruckus, but that seems dumb. Actually, I don't want them to hit Ruckus with Haywire Might, so I am going to hold it back. Get a free card next turn. See what we can do with a free card. And I'm not kind of losing much damage because I've got my Monstrous Rage Double Strike combo here. So I'm not down on damage. That's a 3/3 Haywire Might. That Haywire Might is not messing around. Okay. Let's start here, see what we exile. Blooming Blast, huh? I don't think we're going to cast Blooming Blast here. Fachoo! So, I guess they were F6'd, or they thought it wouldn't matter. But they could have sacrificed Haywire Might to exile Ruckus. Gain 2 life, take 2 less damage, so they'd be at 4. Not really a winning scenario, but they aren't dead. Maybe they get lost my Emberheart and run me down before I... Actually, I want to get rid of this taskbar. Ta-da! Okay. Did we just play this person? Sometimes you get repeats in... No, we played Gas, Ginger... No, we didn't play them. We played someone else. Yeah, this is one of those hands where I don't really have anything to do on turn 1. But I got Shock, I got Slick Shot, I got Emberheart, Frenzy. Like, the hand has literally everything else I could ever want. So it's definitely not a hand that I can mulligan. Interesting. Because my opponent's not going to untap is going to untap a black source. I'm gonna plot Slick Shot here. I don't want to give them a free pass to cut down one of my creatures, especially when I can counter cut down with Monstrous Rage. Now though, missing my land drop. It's a little less clear what I want to do here. I don't want to risk Slick Shot. They have 2 black mana, which means Go for the Throat is available rather than just cut down. Well, they have 2 mana, period, right? So honestly, I didn't know that text was on that card. But missing the land drop was pretty brutal there. My options were, you know, hope they don't have it, or really just hope they don't have it, because there's no way I can just do nothing. Spend shock. Save Monstrous Rage in case they do this harvester thing again. Or try to cut it down. Okay. Go for the throat. Yeah. Ah, you got it. If we had hit our land drops, we could have countered this Harvester of Misery, which would have been quite powerful. But our opponent's curve and our lack thereof, not good. There's that snakeskin veil I needed. Could really use a land drop, a questing druid, a lot of different stuff. Heyo, we got a land. Witchstalker Frenzy does work defensively, so we do get to use it here with our 3 mana. So that's something. I shall plot this Slick Shot. We do have the pieces now to win the game on the spot, potentially. Oh my gosh. Tapping out for Carnosaur is pretty wild, honestly. Coiling Rebirth? What is this? That's pretty wild, honestly. It's a really cool hit. It would be cooler if my opponent didn't kill themselves by tapping out. I mean, cooler for them at least. This is lethal, right? Yeah, this is 16. Neither one of those have. Standard is so cool. I love standard. Vroom, 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 vroom. Superbird liftoff. Bro, my opponent was so ahead. They were so far ahead. And they tapped out once. Well, they tapped out more than once, but I was just like sitting there doing nothing for a while. That was pretty sick. We're not playing Hazard or Pick Your Poison. We're not playing Blooming Blast. This looks like finally the matchup where we just want the full grindy business. I'm gonna take out the double strikes. It's one of my like key party tricks. Resolving them is so hard in these kinds of matchups with tons of removal, and then especially since we just dealt emotional damage with them, our opponent's going to be on mega high alert for these. So boarding them out actually goes really hard here. And then I'll probably do 2 Ruckus, because again, hard to resolve, and 2 Shock. They're probably playing Deep Cavern Bat, but I want to keep some number of Ruckus. And we didn't see Deep Cavern Bat. So I'm okay with kind of trimming 2 shocks. And then it's a matter of, you know, if we see a Deep Cavern Bat in this game, I'll probably, you know, double back and add those in. I am not going to throw my Heartfire into this cut down, though. That's for sure. What's going on, Chris? Red Black Midrange? I think I'll Emberheart attack. Probably wrong, but I think I should have tap land pass, but oh well. Yeah, so far going pretty well. 3-0, up a game here. This, you would have loved the game we just played. We just had nothing going on. Our opponent got all the way up to 6 mana. They tap out for Carnosaur. Hit their Harvester of Misery. They like do some wild stuff. Anyway, they have Carnosaur and the Misery thing. And then, but they're tapped out, so I just go Slickshot, Monstrous Rage, Double Strike, and kill them. He's been pretty good so far. Let's see. So we're casting Slickshot. I guess I was I messed up there a little bit. I shouldn't have played my land because I could have targeted Emberheart with Ruckus to like maybe hit my land drop or maybe hit another Frenzy. But that's okay. Heartfire has been pretty good. Against Domain, we like turn 1 Heartfire, turn 2 Demonic Ruckus, attack for 3. And then they use their Get Lost on it. And Heartfire dealt 6 damage. And I drew a card. Not bad, right? If he gets ignored and we like Restless Ridgeline with the boy, he starts getting bigger. I think that, you know, we need to adjust our mind for standard and accept that, like, it's okay that cards get a little bit weaker. It's fine. It's okay. It's not Kumano, but it's still quite powerful. Case is such a nutty draw here. I'm actually, I'm totally going to discard the boy. We're talking about how he's like not bad, but Shock is definitely better here. Nice. Yeah, those situations are when it's huge and opponent has to cut always feels good. Boo, boo. Yeah, I mean, sometimes our 1-drop doesn't have haste. Like, come on. We can only be so greedy, you know? I really think he's, you know, filling in the role in a very solid manner. He can be quite good. He can be pretty medium. You can also kind of lock people out sometimes, though. Like if they're at 1 or 2 and he's at 1 or 2, they can't really attack because you just chump block and they die. I think people are just being a little unfairly unflexible with the boy. Yeah, I'm gonna prioritize dumping my hand. I think I could activate Restless Ridgeline and probably kill my opponent, but oh, another one of these. I would definitely rather play Heartfire than Phoenix Chick. We've played Phoenix Chick a bunch, but this is not a deck that can recur Phoenix Chick. In a 1/1 flying haste is just like, ooh, so medium. I was going to say, if we find a way to lose this game, I'm going to be shocked. Okay. Game 1 looked literally unwinnable, and then we won out of nowhere, and then game 2 was just a beatdown. People tap out in standard. People just tap out. I also think sometimes we think too much about deck building and we don't just like play. Just play the game. I started the stream off with a Gruul deck and it wasn't very good, so I stopped playing it. It's fine. It's okay. We tested it. We tried. Maybe I'll finish the league if I'm in the mood for some punishment. But even if we don't get the trophy, I feel really good about just like coming in hot with a 4-0. No part of the deck has felt bad. We dealt 21 damage with Restless Ridgeline at one point. Like, that was kind of insane. I have not lost to my own Thran Portal once. That's true. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the whole 75. It was good. It's still good. Standard has variance, so sometimes you draw a million lands. We still won the game where we drew a million lands because we had a Restless Ridgeline. Rockface and Ridgeline are both quite good, but both have very real downsides. Probably the 10th Mountain should be either the 3rd Ridgeline or the 2nd Rockface. TBD which one. I'm pretty nervous about the 2nd Rockface because I do have 17 spells that it doesn't cast. Standard being pretty slow and inconsistent, and Ridgeline dealing literally 21. I'm leaning towards this mountain being the 3rd Ridgeline, but I could be wrong. No, we didn't play against black-white mid-range. We played against mono-red. Match 1 was mono-red. Match 2 was... I don't remember what match 2 was. Match 3 was like a green-white Scales deck. And then match 4 was black-red mid-range. I would love to go first. Where did my... I started a replay. It looks like it closed the replay. So that's okay. Yeah, domain. That's right. Thank you, not Gruul. Yeah, I like tap lands are bad, but like obviously we're playing Ridgeline. The real answer is that it's not better than Ridgeline. I don't know if you saw the domain game, but like I'm not kidding when I say like we went back and checked the replay. Restless Ridgeline was responsible for 21 points of damage. Like, it was a Monstrous Rage target, so maybe you can take away 3 of those points. But I didn't have any other targets. It was like just Restless Ridgeline, right? So, and it buffed a 1/1 Questing Druid, and it buffed a 1/2 Swiss Spear. Like, homeboy went hard. I'm supposed to just cast it here, because I still have lethal if I draw Monstrous Rage. Right? Because Monstrous Rage double strike. Yeah, it's still lethal if I draw Monstrous Rage, so. And they don't have a main deck removal spell that like gets me here, so. Monstrous Rage? Yeah. They're gonna flash into 1/1s, and honestly, if they want a double block, I'll take that trade. So I'm sending Emberheart. And now, as long as we don't miraculously die, Witchtalker Frenzy into Inferno next turn is lethal. They could have Case of the Whatever Express and kill my Slick Shot. That would extend the game. But they do not. And so we are going to game 2. Target creature you control gains double strike. Double strike. I mean, it's not a strict upgrade because against like a mid-range, Codebreaker is the better top deck. But 2/2 huge. It's just 1 prowess trigger away from just 1 prowess trigger away from countering cut downs, so it's definitely better. There is that kind of one niche scenario against mid-range or control where you top deck Codebreaker and you're like, boom, flip, bing, bang, boom, 3 cards, win the game. Like, yeah, I know you've done it before. You know I've done it before. Codebreaker's flip can totally be devastating, but it's a keep. Yeah, and it's really, it's much later, Exactly. Emberheart is definitely better on average. He's better early, he's better mid-game. He's better late game in a lot of scenarios. It's just like the very late game against the very grindy decks where you're like, dang. All right. I don't like the way we're drawing cards here. We are going to mill our top card. It's probably going to be a Slick Shot or something. Yep. Witchtalker Frenzy's pretty good. Yeah, I think there was a moment earlier where I got some card advantage that won me a game with Emberheart. Oh, they are not blocking. They say no. Not interested in blocking. That's fair. I'm going to Monstrous Rage here and hope to exile a double strike spell and just end this thing. That is not a double strike spell. I'll shock Sanguine. Play it a little safe. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. There's definitely... Also, why didn't I plot Ruckus? We're playing for the 5-0 and I'm distracted chatting. That could cost me this. Ugh, that was so bad. Yeah, I was talking about earlier, I don't like that sometimes you have to mill a card. Because it's just, you know, completely random. Sometimes you mill a good card and you're like, ah. Sometimes you mill a bad card and you're like, yeah. But it's just 100% random, so... That definitely bums me out. Not plotting this Ruckus super bums me out. Ugh. They have 4 creatures? That's crazy. Like in this game, Exile and this Witchstalker Frenzy, super relevant, right? Oh well. We know they have Resolute Reinforcements as well. I don't think we have any outs anymore. Our opponent being way too patient, come on, is our only out, but drawing 7 lands and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 non-lands. It's just like the classic way to lose. I think most of my losses in Standard have been, oops, I drew... Drew 50-50 lands and non-lands. Nice. Let's see. Can I not die? What if I block like this? Am I dead? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. If I prevent 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, I can't. Bummer. Oh, I think we kind of sort of... I think we deserved to win that one. I think we got... I think we deserved better. But this hand's pretty good. I'll bottom the land because I want all these non-lands. Opponent mulling to 5 is a good sign. We're on 6, they're on 5, they're on the draw. We have good resources here though. I feel pretty good about it. I will not be milling myself this time. Do I need to play around turn 2 knight? I think I do. I guess that's one of the few ways that I lose this game is turn 2 knight, so let's play around it. Oh. They are going to Helix. Okay. I'll allow it. They don't want to block. I'm gonna spend the shock. Another Helix. Okay. Not what I was expecting from this game. Draw a card. Oof, Ruckus is a good draw if they don't have another Helix. Or I get lost. I mean, how much removal could they board into? Well, Tapland is pretty mid, but at least we don't have to draw it. Pretty tense here. They might just like slam a knight. Oh, train troops. True. Oh, that's pretty good. You can have a gift. That's pretty good. That should be good enough. Come on. I don't know what you could possibly do with 1 mana to stop this. Oh, sorry. Can't block. Let's go! All right, first league with Questing Red went pretty well.